Welcome to Pitching Podcast, where remarkable women share their stories behind the businesses they build. Honest, inspiring, and deeply personal. Discover how decades of experience, courage, and resilience became their greatest competitive advantage. Hello, and welcome to my Pitching Podcast. Today I have an absolutely incredible woman, a lady. She started her business quite late, and she is running a business in a very, very difficult branch, in a huge branch with a lot of competitors. So I am amazed by her courage to do this. And she's an award-winning cosmetic chemist. She's passionate advocate for sustainable skincare, and she's also dedicated to helping consumers to separate science from marketing hype, which is quite difficult today. And I really love her videos, her education videos about transparency, sustainability across the beauty industry. And she is the founder of SeaDragon Organic Skincare. Please welcome Mandy Hawtin. So happy to have you here. Thank you very much for your time, for being.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here too.
So, my first question, how did you dare to start your business in this area? Skincare is not the easiest path, and it's not the easiest industry. And of course, you have the market is huge. There are like millions of products on the market. So what made you
Yes.
decide to start your business in this area?
Well, I actually started my first business just with makeup, and I wasn't specifically looking for the beauty business. I have a background in business. I have an MBA, and I had been working for someone else and found it frustrating trying to balance being a mum of 3 school-age children and all of the demands of work and the demands of being a mother. I really wanted to start any business.
Uh-huh.
And I had this beautiful cousin who was a personal stylist, a makeup artist, and a beauty therapist. And she used to take her clients shopping for clothes. And she said to me, Mandy, they buy all these beautiful clothes. And I'm talking to them about colors. And then they say, but what about my face? Like, what should I put on my face? And I don't like the products in the department stores because I know what's in it. And it was a few months later, I said to her, we need to start a beauty business. We need to bring those products that you want to market, so that when you're taking your clients shopping, you can say, oh, guess what? I've got some makeup and some
Yes.
skincare that's going to work for you. So it really was, I guess, a desire to have that beautiful blend of business and family life so that I could do things like go and watch the kids' performances when they were, 3 o'clock, or even, take them to the doctors when they were sick without having to deal with how am I going to make up this work that I've
Yeah.
missed. It's a desire initially just to have that beautiful family life balance. And then
Uh-huh.
what I found was um, I had been making really simple skincare since I was a teenager, and
Mhm.
I started to make some simple skincare products for that very first business.
Yes.
And it was those products, those original products, not our makeup that we had, that started to get the attention of influencers and the media. And
Mhm.
so that first business sort of transitioned to being an organic skincare and hair care at that time, brand with all original products. And it was through that process too that I went back to study at 48. I'm a cosmetic chemist because I wanted to learn more and make even more beautiful and, I guess, technically complex products. So
Mhm.
I didn't start out with the idea of wanting to be a cosmetic chemist or even wanting a beauty business. It just, I guess it evolved organically.
Yeah. And this is a perfect example for actually you are kind of role model for a lot of women. And I'm talking about women like, let's say after 45, blooming business 50 plus is about women starting their new path, their new career or an own business after they became 50. And what I see very often in my program, in my business program, women which they come and they are the biggest let's say, the biggest fear they have is to start something that doesn't work. So they have ideas and they come and they say, well, yeah, I have an idea and I don't get support in my family. I don't get support in my environment, but I still have this dream. I want to do it, but I'm not sure it's going to work because this is, there are, there are already there is already enough skincare on the market. There are already bakeries. Then there is everything on the market. So can I do this? And you are the perfect example for these women because you started a business in an area which is very, very crowded, had the courage, and you are very successful. So what would you say to these women which probably will listen to us and they think, I want to start something and I'm not sure if it's going to work?
Well, I guess initially I would say first business, I had to close it and sell it off because my business partner, my cousin, wanted to leave. And so I was left with, well, what do I do now? I was a few months away from turning 50, and a beautiful friend of mine said, Mandy, it's not too late for you. This isn't the end. Keep going. And I took those words to heart, thinking, yeah, it's not too late. And I don't think it ever, if you've got an idea, whether it's business or just maybe trying something new, I don't think it really matters what age you are. It's never too late to give it a go and try something new. And I also think it's really important for yourself. And I know it might sound simple, but if other people aren't backing you, but you're backing yourself and you believe in yourself, then I think you'll find it within yourself to get out there and give it a go. And be willing to adjust along the way. My first business started out just with makeup, then added some skincare that I made that was basically, it was made in my kitchen, as a lot of beauty businesses start out. And then over the time that evolved to becoming certified organic, and we dropped the makeup off, dropped the hair care. My business partner went off into the corporate world and I had an opportunity to become a solopreneur, which I'm absolutely loving. But I didn't plan that. I just listened, I guess that guidance, looking at what people are saying, the feedback, what are they interested in? And I guess in some ways I found a bit of a niche. I wasn't looking for it, but I found my position. Like, the beauty space is absolutely enormous, but at the same time, everyone uses personal care products, whether it's shampoo, your body washes, deodorant, toothpaste. Of course, a lot of us will use skincare. Some of us will use makeup, but it's a huge industry. But at the same time, there are spots where you can fit in, and I think it's probably like that with a lot of industries, that you don't need 30% or 50%. You just need your tiny little wedge, and to find your space, and then you'll find success.
You said something very, very important, I think very powerful, because this is what I try to tell to women when they are in my program, because we're talking about, in the first stage, we're talking about the mindset. And women have a very, let's say, toxic um, trait, character. Well, probably yes, trait is the right word. This imposter syndrome. This is very, very typical for women, and this need to do it perfect. So a lot of women don't start their business because they are working on it until it is perfect, and it doesn't become perfect, because like perfection is like a fata morgana, you never achieve it. So you said
Yes.
something very powerful. You said you just start and look what happens, look at your path. What is your view on this? Like, when it's a perfection, and when is the point where we say, okay, I just start doing and then I will see what happens?
Yeah, I think that perfectionism can be crippling, and it can end businesses before they start. There's an expression, done is better than perfect. And I think sometimes you just need to just start. With my current business, I've started with some really basic, very common, easy to obtain packaging. I am in the process of custom packaging that's biodegradable, designed, and I'm having it approved by my organic certifier, and that's coming. But if I had have waited for everything to be perfect, I wouldn't be selling at the moment.
Yeah.
But someone said to me, people want the product. They will forgive that the packaging isn't I guess, in my mind, perfect,
Yes.
because it's okay to just make a start. And sometimes you
Mhm.
have to do that. I remember another example. I wanted to buy some mailing boxes that were, sourced from renewable farms, and I wanted to make sure they were all manufactured in Australia. And my business coach at the time, we're looking at the figures, and he said, "Mandy, this is just too expensive for where you are right now. Just start with what you can afford." Make it as sustainable as you can. Your raw cardboard that's not covered in a plastic layer, so it can be recycled. Okay, it's going to be made in China, not in Australia, but start with that. Have your aspirations to get to where you want to go, and then you
Mm.
can put that in your business plan. I was like, I need to, generate this much income to buy my Australian-made, beautifully sourced packaging mailing boxes, and
Mhm.
have that as a goal. And then over a year or two, you might find that you hit those goals, and then it feels pretty good when you do.
I listen to your so I watch your videos that you post regularly about skincare. I think they're very helpful, and I think they you give a lot of information and insights to women of skincare in general. So one question that I think it currently is so top rated, and probably a lot of women, ChatGPT is annoyed by this question. What is about collagen? So you talk about this in your videos, and this is something that like everyone is talking about and then asking and reading and searching for information. Collagen. If it is written on the jar that is collagen inside, does it work? Does it help? What should we know about collagen in the skincare?
Yeah, this is fascinating because if I can just indulge you with a little bit of history, I don't even know how long, let's just say 20, 30 years ago, the big, beautiful skincare companies, worked out that we need skincare that supports our own collagen production. And they develop products that do that. But collagen itself to a product doesn't increase the amount of collagen you have in your skin. You can't absorb it either through your stomach by drinking a supplement or by putting it on your skin. It just doesn't work that way. You need ingredients that support those structures within your skin that help maintain the collagen that you naturally have, and then those structures within the skin to produce your own collagen.
Mhm.
And I see it all the time. I see these packages that says with collagen or contains collagen. And I'm
Mhm.
thinking, oh, yeah, I actually understand what's going on. We have been told for a few decades now that collagen is so important when it
Mhm.
comes to, preserving I guess, our youthfulness. Like we want our skin to look as good as it can. And so we want to support our collagen and support the pathways that produce collagen. And when we see something, let's just say it's a jar of face cream and it says with collagen, even though that brand hasn't misled you and they haven't said this collagen really won't do much for your skin, maybe add a little bit of moisturization. In our minds and in our psychology, we know collagen is good for our skin. We see that word on the jar and we make a connection. And they're relying on us to make that connection. So they're not doing anything illegal. The product probably does contain collagen, but all that's going to do is sit on the surface of the skin. The molecular size of the collagen is too large to get into your skin. It will sit on the surface and it might add a little bit more moisturization. But honestly, compared to the other ingredients that are in there that will offer moisturization,
Yeah.
so we need to look for collagen boosting, collagen supporting, words like that, supporting the structures to create collagen,
Mm.
preserve your own collagen,
Mm.
not with collagen. So
Okay.
I hope I've made that clear. But there's a lot of examples that where the beauty industry relies on our knowledge of perhaps a famous ingredient,
Mhm.
say too much at all, and we make up the rest.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes, it's
So
a
that will
little
be mm,
deceptive, but
yeah, yeah. So that would be actually the same. Like so, this skincare with collagen would be the same. Like if I would put some gummy bears on my face, or like Haribo
gums on my face. They also made of collagen, so they're made of
Yeah.
pink bones. So that would be actually the same effect.
You might be onto something, Nicoletta. Maybe we could liquefy those gummy bears and turn them into a
Yes.
mask.
So if we would liquefy them and put on the face, it would be the same effect.
Yeah, and it won't do anything for your skin, but it might be fun.
Yeah, that might be fun. Yes, yes, and it would be sweet. That's also good. And the next question, which probably is also very often asked, is about Botox in the jar. So it's the same. Like Botox is a treatment, and I know it's actually it's a nerve, a paralyzing poison.
Paralyzes your muscles. Yeah, yeah.
So how does it work when it is written on the skincare that is with Botox effect? Probably often they write Botox effect and not Botox.
Yeah, that's again, I guess they're relying on our imaginations to think, oh, I want to look youthful, I guess. So if it's got the word
Mhm,
Botox, we make that connection. Botox doesn't go into our skin, it goes under
mhm,
the skin and into the muscle, and it paralyzes our muscles so that the skin doesn't move. And that can make people look more youthful. I'm certainly not against Botox itself. I think that if you are going to use Botox, less is more, dare I say. And I would just say find a really great practitioner because it's making your muscle not move. Your muscle is becoming weaker and weaker as time progresses. You should need less of the Botox and more time in between your treatments. So if you're going somewhere and they're insisting you're coming in every 3 months and they're giving you the same amount, you might need to ask a few questions. The skincare itself can help more with preventing the skin from aging. I think people, because their skin isn't moving, it's not aging, but it's just keeping still. You're
yeah.
still losing, your collagen levels are going down, elastane's going down, especially as you hit, your midlife and your estrogen levels drop, you're still aging. Your sunspots will start to come out more, especially if you grew up in Australia. Fine lines and wrinkles are still there. Um, so Botox doesn't replace skincare. I think that's one important fact. If you are using Botox, you still need, in my opinion, really good anti-aging skincare to help your skin
Mhm,
be the best that it can be.
mhm,
But Botox in a jar doesn't exist. That's not real. Skincare cannot freeze your face. They work completely differently. Skincare will help with, as I said, with your collagen, elastin, the structure within the skin, hydration. You
mhm.
still need that skincare for hydration. And maybe I could talk about that for a second. That's really,
Yeah.
if someone's on a really tight budget and they said, what's the best thing I can do for my skin? Think about hydration, which is different to moisturization. So moisturization are essentially like oils that sit on the surface of your skin and they prevent your skin from losing water. But hydration draws the water in and it holds it in.
Mhm,
So products that are good at hydrating will short term make you look more youthful. They will plump up your skin, make it look nice and cushiony, fill
mhm.
in some fine lines. It's not true anti-aging, but you can find hydrating products and have your perfumes, don't have your anti-aging ingredients, come in very simple packaging at budget places and they can do a great job.
There is one point that it's a very strong trend it's not always probably not always the right skincare for somebody which has skin problems, neurodermitis or something similar. But still, it's a strong trend. It's about organic. So what is better, organic or like chemistry? What should be or what should
Yeah, I think it really depends on your values and what's important to you. If you want a natural product because you don't want ingredients that are derived from petroleum and hence fossil fuels, you will navigate towards organic and natural skincare. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's better for the environment because sometimes our synthetic ingredients have a lower carbon footprint. For example, with your vitamins like your vitamin C and vitamin Bs, it's very resource intensive to grow plants to
Mm.
extract those vitamins. So it's quite complex. The other thing is, over the last 5 or 10 years, there's been tremendous improvements in the actives are natural in origin. So 10 years ago, if you went to your beauty therapist, they'll, don't worry about the organic and the natural products. They're not as good with anti-aging. Well, that's changed. So that's, I think, great news. But yeah, I guess it depends on what if. So if you want a really good anti-aging product, whether it's natural or whether it's synthetic, for proof, look beyond the words such as, age defying or radiant, and look for the evidence. Okay, radiant, what does that mean? And if there isn't specific information, move on to a different brand. So radiant skin, maybe you want a reduction in some sunspots that are coming out, or you want to lighten and brighten your skin. So look for those numbers. Clinical data, which is what I'm talking about, when an independent company has come in and they've done some trials and they've tested the product. And instead of saying things like radiant and glowing, they will say after 60 days of using this product twice a day, 68% of users saw a reduction in their sunspots by such and such percent. And it would be very specific. So try and look beyond those words that probably draw you in, that sound, we react to them, we have that emotional reaction, and then think, okay, well, how specifically is it age defying? Will it reduce my wrinkle depth? By how much? By what percentage? So look for that evidence. That's not hard for brands to find. Even small brands can access clinical trials to ingredients for free. They can get that through their supplier. So that sort of evidence should be around for most skincare products. And when it's not, I think, okay, you need to ask why. The biggest the the biggest, I don't even know what issue that I see is because active ingredients are the most expensive ingredient within skincare. There are a lot of brands that put these actives in, but it's such low inputs, they don't offer any benefit to the skin. Yet they can legally claim this product contains
Yes.
famous active ingredient. So looking for those clinical trials will give you an indication of what results you're likely to get if you use that product. Want natural or organic? Look for certified natural, certified organic. Again, an independent company has done an audit and has said, yes, this product actually is what it says that it is.
I know that I'm not going to open any secret because you were talking about this lately in a video of yourself. You were talking about your age and you said that you're 52. And I know that as I have heard this first time, I was, God, do you sleep in the fridge? How can you look so young in this age? So it can't be real that you're 53. Is this because you use your product? So
Yeah.
why? How?
I'm 53 next week, which, yeah, I'm really happy to be 53. Thank you. I'm actually really enjoying my skin, to be honest. Especially growing up in Australia, I was exposed to a lot of sun my whole life, but I have noticed discoloration from the sun is fading a lot from some of my marine actives. Yeah, I absolutely love them and believe in them. And people say, "Oh, you look great here." Yes, that's because I make my own skincare.
It helps. So you know what is in there and you
Yeah.
know that it helps. Yeah, perfect. That sounds great. You look amazing. I can say
Oh,
just like you look like a, I don't know, 25 years old girl. Not,
I've
yes,
got like
not 52, 25. So
beautiful.
since we are in a blooming business 50 plus, so the my auditory is are women 50 plus. I would like to ask you a question which I think would interest a lot of them, a lot of our of women listening to us. Which ingredient would you recommend to women 50 plus? So like aging in the aging period, so maybe in the menopause or like starting with which ingredient would you recommend? Like this is
Yeah, which
something that
ones
you
actually
should,
work?
or maybe what we would should pay attention to and try to use skincare with this ingredient.
Yeah, again, because these ingredients I'm about to say are famous, look for those numbers, those clinical results, so that they So you buy a product that not just has, for example, peptides in them, but it has the
Mhm.
right level, the right input, so that it does what you want it to do. So if you don't mind synthetic ingredients, so they are not natural, peptides, absolutely, they are fantastic. Ceramides are also absolutely brilliant.
Mhm.
I love natural. My specialization is organic skincare. So I love fucodians, which are essentially from seaweed.
Mhm.
And these days, the results from fucodians are just as good as the synthetic counterparts. So that's actually what my business is about
Mhm.
marine actives.
Mhm.
Um, but again, there are so many actives out there. There are actives that, I haven't even heard. I don't know them. I'd have to look them up on database. Just because it's not famous, peptide, everyone's heard of the word peptide. Look for those numbers, look for those clinical trials. Sometimes there can be a really interesting combination of 2 or 3 actives that gives fantastic skin benefits. Again, I'd look beyond the famous words and look for proof.
You just mentioned the ingredient that you use in your product, and this is like extraction of seaweed. And this is probably what makes your product special. So this is your USP.
Yeah.
I was going anyway to ask you about this, but this is a perfect bridge to my question. How to a USP? What would be your suggestion? Because this is what actually
Mm.
everybody is struggling with when they start their business. And I hear this very often in my program, in our coachings and in mentoring conversations. Women have an idea, they have a product, a service, whatever, and it's always about the USP, and all of them struggle with this. What is my USP? So what would be your advice when it's
Yeah.
about the USP?
Sometimes the product or service has that unique difference. So if
Yeah,
that's you, then it's obvious. And if not, there is one thing about your business, and that's you. It's yourself being the face of your business, I guess, and putting yourself out there, whether it's to talk on social media or come along and talk to lovely Nicoletta. You are your unique point of difference. And there's this expression that people don't buy products or services, people buy people. And they do. People prefer to buy from or have services from people that they know, people that they trust. So
Mhm.
your customers and your potential customers out there, they want to get to know you. They want to know who you are, what your values are. And so that's really important. I would start perhaps by coming up with 4, 5, or 6 values, and they might
Mhm.
be not just your brand values, but your personal values. And if you're not sure, ask ChatGPT to point you in the right direction, give you some
Yeah,
ideas, and then that is your unique point of difference. It's going to be you, because no one is
yeah.
just like you. You are unique.
So what I would say now, if there is anyone who is in my program and is watching this, I can say, I told you, it's
Did you?
you.
Oh,
I I told you, it's you. You are your USP. It's amazing to hear this from you, a successful businesswoman starting such a powerful business in this. So thank you very much. This is like the great words.
may,
Um,
may I add something to that, Nicoletta?
of course, yes.
I know that it can be really hard
Mhm.
because in my first business, I partnered with my beautiful, very socially confident cousin,
Mm,
and she was the face of the business. So she did all of the talking, all of the social media. Whenever we would go to a networking event, I would be there with my camera filming her. And
mhm.
then when I had this opportunity to be, a solopreneur, which I love, I was faced with, oh my God, I have to be the one. I have to be the one, especially as my concept evolved and I realized I really wanted to have an educational focus to my business. No one else can get up in front of the camera or, your phone, the camera on your phone and do that. It has to be me. So I started by an Instagram account basically for my dog. And I would take videos of her and photos and I'd practice posting. And then eventually I had a business account, and to do it, I just have to post something. And you know what? If you look back in 6 months' time and you absolutely do hate it, which you probably won't, but if you do, you can delete it. It's
Well,
not the end of the world. You're going to be fine. And there's lots of help, especially with devices like ChatGPT. If you don't know how to do it. I didn't even know what hashtags were when I started doing this only 2.5 years ago. I didn't
Yeah.
know what they were. How do I do a hashtag? What is it supposed to be? That information is out there. Just
Yes.
be a little bit brave, give it a go. You will probably be awkward and clunky and all of the things in the beginning, and that's fine. Just remember that the people who are the most successful in business are those who have failed the most. It's
Mm.
okay. And I also think, because I've started doing podcasts now, I did a keynote in Paris in April, which was, I learned a lot. It wasn't perfect, but I learned a lot. So the next one will be better and the next one will be a little bit better. I think sometimes if you just say to yourself, it's okay, be a little bit silly sometimes. It's okay
Yeah.
to make a mistake. It's completely fine. And if you say that I'm going to be fine, even if I fluff up my words, even if I
Yes.
trip over the stairs, do you know what? It's going to be fine. And it will
Mm.
be.
Yes. These are golden words, I would say. So it's like we just start and just do it and then repeat and repeat, and then it's going to be
Mhm.
better and better.
Yeah, that's how you learn.
Learn, yes. We are heading towards the end of our conversation, and since the title of my podcast is Pitching Podcast, I give opportunity to each lady in my podcast to talk about their product and what is special. And what I would ask you is why? What would you say? Why should somebody buy your skincare?
Well, I guess I've got quite a niche market. So I
Mhm.
often spend a lot of time in other brands because my product doesn't necessarily suit them. My products are for women, primarily in midlife, who are noticing their skin's a bit drier. They're starting to get the signs of aging. So they really are looking for a quality product. But they're also very busy. So I've created 4 products that are all multi purpose. So my day cream, for example, has the actives that you would want in an eye cream. So to reduce puffiness under the eyes and fine lines. It has your serum ingredients for brightening, and it has a primer, so it's got the sponginess from a primer, and of course your moisturizer. So it's all in one. So in the morning, you can wash your face, put on one product, and then you're ready to on maybe sunscreen or makeup, and you're done. If you want high quality products that simplify your routine, but you can still breathe in some beautiful essential oils, maybe consider SeaDragon Organic. All my products are made in Australia and they're located in Australia at the moment. I do ship globally. There's no postage fee, but I am hoping to get products initially to the US. Maybe the UK might be easier being an Australian company and then into Europe. Although in Frankfurt, we do have a footprint. One of our Australian Chamber of Commerce's is in Frankfurt. So
Mhm.
there's a German connection. Um,
Yes,
but yeah, honestly, what I'd love the most is find me on Facebook, Mandy Hawtin, or any of the socials, and give me a follow. If you have beauty questions, ask me because I'm always looking for new things to film. And if you ask me a question, you're probably doing me a favor. I'll make a little video out of it and share it on social media.
perfect. I had already a conversation in our event where, and the event was about the secrets of the beauty business, and you were talking about the products. The funny thing was, and this is what quite remarkable, because I said this is actually the best advertisement. You didn't try to sell, so you didn't sell your product. You just were talking. You were talking about is what ingredients you put in the product. And yes, it is like very simply, and it's just one product for 4 things in one. um and everybody was asking, where can I buy it? So my question, do you have any timeline where would you what you think that you would like to start selling here in
In
Europe?
Europe, I would love that. At the moment, you can go to my website, seadragonorganic.com.au. Um, I I'm not actually I don't want to commit to a timeline, but maybe I hope to be in Europe in 2028. I'd like to say 2027, but I'm a realist. But you never know.
You
But
never know.
yeah, I don't know. I'm loving having this business. I'm loving being a solopreneur. I'm loving talking to other small businesses. And I get to interact with so many women owned businesses in Australia. And
Right.
we're all supporting each other. It's absolutely incredible. But I think initially, I would explore some online options that can support my business. So I haven't researched it for Germany, I will admit that. But in the US, Amazon.com are a great way for foreign brands to come in and use their platform, and then they interact with your own website and shipping. Something like that can make it
Yeah.
easier to a
Yeah.
footprint Europe. So that would be amazing. And maybe down the track, stockists too. Like my products do work really well within facials, and be nice to be stocked in some beauty salons. Wouldn't it be nice to Europe, and especially Germany? I'd love to go around Munich. That part is so stunning. And look at some beauty salons and have a bit of a working holiday. I think I'm to put that into my planner.
Absolutely. Yes. You said you have 4 products. I would still ask, even if you would have more, but also with 4 products, do you have any favorite product in this 4?
Oh, I do like my cleansing balm. I like it because of the feel. It's thick and cushiony when you put it on. It's like a gel,
Mhm.
and then you put it onto your face, and then with dry face, dry hands, and then once you add water, it emulsifies and it turns into a lotion. So I guess it's quite technically like a fun product to make, but it's also a fun product to use. So that would be my favorite one. That was also the first one that I formulated.
So, ladies, just wait and see. No, you to know. But yes, I hope to see your products in DM soon, and I thank you very much for this very interesting, very insightful conversation, and I hope you will get your clients very soon here.
Thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've loved talking to you. I hope it's not too late. I know we had some issues
No,
with the time. The time difference makes it a bit tricky. It's very bright for me. It's the middle of the day.
that's the technique today. So that's why we say, well, we are getting global, and this is not going to change anymore. So we have to face the time differences, but it's still
Yes.
technically possible. So as long as we are not sleeping, as one of us is not sleeping, it's
Yes.
possible to do.
We're fine.
So-
Thank you, Nicoletta.
Thank you very much, Mandy. Have a great day and see you soon. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
And
Bye.
to all of our listeners and watchers, very much. See you soon next time to Pitching Podcast by Blooming Business 50 Plus. Thank you.
This was Pitching Podcast. One woman's story, one inspiring journey, one business built on courage, experience, and purpose. If her story inspired you, share this episode and remember, success doesn't know any age.